Background checks, why are they a valuable tool in life for you to use for different relationships, whether it's a financial relationship, a romantic relationship, or even a business relationship? Doing a proper background check on anybody you're going to be involved with can help you avoid pitfalls, losses, or damage, but more importantly, it can help you create and structure a relationship in a positive way. If you know the background of a person or a company you're going to do business with, even if that background is good, it will allow you to arrange the best parts of that relationship for your benefit. So let's talk about this first example. This is from MarketWatch, where a person's asking, is it a bad sign if my financial advisor lives in an apartment? Look, if you're asking somebody for financial advice that's not a homeowner, that may not necessarily be a bad thing. In fact, a modest lifestyle might be a good thing if they're saving money. But if it's because they have not saved enough money to be able to purchase a house, don't have enough income to purchase a house, why would that person be a good advisor for you for finances? If they haven't figured out how to do it for themselves, how are they going to tell you what to do? Now, if that person has $10 million in the bank, but they just choose to live in an apartment because they want to save more money or because maybe they're moving to another location, that's fine. But a background check will show this, not just if they live in an apartment, but what else is going on with their finances. As an example, this question was asked by a person who they just did a map search, right? He looked at the address on Google Maps to see where they lived, and it was in an apartment. They didn't do any other research about the finances. Now, if you do a background check, you'll find out, are there any judgments? Are there court cases? Does the person have other assets? Do they have maybe vehicles with a lot of liens on it? Are there any complaints against the person? So this observation of living in an apartment is a good first step. But let's say you want to get involved with this financial advisor and you want to have them give you some important financial success tips. Well, knowing what they're capable of doing will help you put your trust in that person to get more results. If for some reason you find out, or if you discover that maybe they're not good with their own money, it's going to be tougher for you to really get deep with them for financial advice. Or maybe you're going to outgrow them. Maybe you're starting out small now, but if you do the right investments, you'll be too big for them to help you. So that's the first example of a background check. What about in personal relationships? Here's a woman who explains why you should always check the background of somebody you're dating. Again, presumably if you're dating somebody or you're going to date somebody, it's for creating a relationship. We're not talking about a casual fling. Even that might need a background check, but a relationship involves being connected with that person financially, emotionally, maybe living in the same place, and doing a background check might be helpful. What they found in this case was a person who begged me to date him, who turned down. They did a basic Google search and found out he was arrested for attacking a UPS worker at his house. Right? That wasn't even a full background check. That was just a Google search. So if you're looking to possibly get involved with a relationship with a person, date somebody, engaged, married, whatever it is, knowing their background might help understand their psychology, their emotions, their history, and you can also make sure it matches up with what they've told you. Had they been married before? Did they live in places where they said they did? Having this knowledge will give you more peace of mind and security about going into a relationship. Because here's the thing. You've heard the term fall in love. Literally, you fall in love. You don't decide, I think I'm going to love this person. It just happens. So if you don't exclude a person in advance by knowing what their background is, if this person was arrested for assault, what happens if you fall in love with a person that you find out later has this kind of background? You may not be able to fall out of love. There's many people that are in romantic relationships that have a tough time extracting from it, even in the face of violence, assault, domestic issues, male or female. because they're already in love, and it's hard to extract from that when those feelings are coming up in you. So having this information about a person in advance of being even at risk of falling in love can help from keeping you get into a bad spot that's harder to extract from later. So a background check can help this. What about investments? Here's a 4 billion Bitcoin scam that ripped off a lot of people, and finding some gift cards help investigators discover this fraud, right? This couple stole Bitcoin worth 4.5 billion, but what they were doing is they're laundering money with gift cards, Walmart gift cards. We see this a lot with online scams, where what's happening is the fraudsters are telling the victims to send the money either by cryptocurrency or gift cards. And what they do is they launder the money through gift cards because it doesn't have to go through a bank. They can either sell the gift cards or use them. And once these gift cards were used or resold, the investigators in this case were able to track it back to emails and cloud service belonging to the couple. And it resulted in not only criminal complaints, but also seizing assets, 3.6 billion, that maybe can be returned to the victims. And this is where an investigation can help prevent a fraud victim losing money, or to resolve it once it's happened. Think about another case. Imagine if you are hiring a landscaper to cut your grass, mow your lawn. It may seem like a small thing, may seem like a minor arrangement that you have, but this person is going to be at your house every week, maybe twice a month, cutting your grass. And it might seem to you like they're just cutting the grass, but a landscaper may be in that job because they're unable to get a job in a traditional role at a company. Maybe they have a criminal background. Maybe they have a financial background. Maybe they have a drug problem. Maybe that's why they're a landscaper. It doesn't mean all landscapers are bad. It just means that they have not gone through a hiring process with a company that normally would flush out these things, right? Even when you go to Starbucks or McDonald's, they're going to do a background check on employees to make sure they're not mass murderers. So you're dealing with those people, you know at least there's some level of protection because the company did it. A landscaper, a pool person, or a maintenance person that you hire, they're probably not working for a company that does background checks. So who are they? Who is the person that owns it? This person is at your house in a very close proximity on a regular basis. You may not know it, but they're looking around. They're seeing things. If this person's up to no good, they're going to notice where your doors are, when they're unlocked, where you leave your spare key, where you leave valuables outside. Do you leave your lawnmower? Do you leave tools? Can they see in your window and see your computer? Do they know what time of day you come and go? Again, they're not all bad people. But if somebody was going to be a bad person, here's somebody that has regular access to not only your home and your routine, but also your banking information, because you probably write them a check. You might give them cash, but if you write them a check, now they have your bank account number. We have had instances where there was a pool company that somebody in the pool company was taking bank account numbers and using it to pay other people's cell phone bills. That pool company owner, the manager, had a previous conviction for check fraud. So if you were going to hire this pool company, a $70, $80 background check might have prevented you from hiring somebody that maybe had that level of criminal intent. Again, doesn't mean you need to be suspicious of everybody, but any relationship you get in, you have to be aware of what your risk is. If it's a personal relationship, like dating, yeah, you're going to be in close proximity to that person. And this person I straight up asked the guy, what would happen if I Google him and he told me he wouldn't like it? This is a different case. Actual sexual assault accusations, right? Google is not a real background check. It can give you some ideas and maybe some insight. But if you really want to know, you want to do a proper background check. Here's another person who commented on this. After a date with a person, found out he had an assault charge for killing his ex-girlfriend's dog and beating her with the dog. Right? So personal relationships, you're going to be alone with this person. You're going to be on dates with the person. You're going to be in a car with this person. You want to know what you're dealing with. Even if it's not violence, if it's financial, maybe irresponsibility, do you want to pursue a relationship where you're going to be at risk, right? Maybe it's something in their family. Maybe it's something that they said they used to live in a certain state and they didn't. Any relationship has the potential for causing you vulnerability, risk, and harm. You want to know in advance who you're dealing with. And it's not that complicated. You can start by doing basic Google search, social media search, and online open source records. If you really are going to get involved with anybody in business, personal relationship, romantic relationship, investment, employment, you want to know who you're dealing with because you're going to trust them with certain things, maybe not big things, but certain things, and you want to know sooner than later because once you're involved with that relationship, your level of trust is gradually going to go up. The more time you're with that person, whatever kind of relationship, your trust level is going to go up. And at that point, they're going to be there to gaslight you or to make you see trust. And if a person is a scammer or they're dangerous, they're going to do everything they can to make you feel more comfortable over time. And it'll be more difficult then to extricate yourself from that relationship without having difficulty with that person. Background checks can help you. It can not only prevent downside risk and damage, it can help you nurture a relationship by knowing what a person's strengths are, what they're good at, maybe what their assets are. If they're rich or they're wealthy, that may be something you want to know so you can help develop yourself along with that person to achieve the same level of success by using a background check.